Welcome back to the Law of Attraction for Writers podcast. I'm Suzanne Lieurance, and in previous episodes, I've talked about identity, visibility, and intuition. You might want to listen to those episodes if you've missed them. They're right here on the YouTube channel page. Now, in this episode, I'm bringing it all together with something practical and essential, and that is sustainability in your writing life. This is very important if you're going to make consistent progress with your writing projects and eventually have something to share with readers. After all, books, articles, blog posts, and stories don't get finished through occasional bursts of inspiration alone. They get finished through steady effort over time. The challenge is finding a way to write consistently without exhausting yourself in the process. So let's see what the law of attraction says about this. Many writers swing between extremes, bursts of intense productivity followed by long periods of burnout or avoidance. Sound familiar to you? I've had that happen. From a law of attraction perspective, this creates mixed signals. One week you're telling the universe, writing is my priority, and the next week you're avoiding your writing altogether because you're overwhelmed, exhausted, or discouraged. So think about what that message is being sent to the universe. Now, sustainability is about alignment. When your writing practice feels steady, calm, and doable, you're sending a consistent message to the universe of, I am committed to this. You don't need dramatic output either. You just need steady presence. And I've seen this many times with my clients. They think they need large blocks of uninterrupted time in order to make progress. Now that can help, and that's kind of a luxury, but it's often the small daily actions that create the greatest results over time. And that's also easier for people to sustain. A few hundred words written every day can become a completed manuscript over time, and a few minutes spent revising can eventually transform a rough draft into a polished piece of work. The key is creating a writing practice you can maintain, not just for a week or two, but for months and even years. And I certainly do this, break things down into smaller projects if I have a project that I'm working on. And I try to set a certain amount of time aside to create, and also I set a deadline. Of course, other things completely unrelated to writing sometimes interfere with my writing schedule, but I usually end the day thinking about what I've achieved and how I plan to approach things the next day. Now, I've found that this helps me stay connected to the project even on days when progress feels slow. So rather than focusing on how much I have left to do, I just focus on taking the next step. So think about that. So here's your practical writing tip. It's called the steady 10-minute habit. Instead of aiming for hours of writing every day, commit to one small, reliable habit, even as little as 10 minutes. The goal here is not to impress yourself with how much you can accomplish in a single session, but the goal is to establish a routine that becomes part of your daily life, because consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence, and confidence attracts more opportunities. So many writers also discover that, once they sit down for that planned 10 minutes, they often continue writing for much longer. But even when they don't, they've still strengthened that 10-minute habit. So this is good advice, even if you need that change of scene to get away from distractions, because some people say, well, I always write away, go write at the coffee shop or somewhere else. And, you might be surprised how much you can achieve with a focused 10 or 15 minutes in a coffee shop or at the library or park or another location where you can think more clearly. So just try to see how you can weave in this 10 minutes every day, wherever you are, if you can't just sit down first thing every morning and write for 10 minutes, which, by the way, that's what I usually advise my clients to do, and everyone in Monday Morning Manifestors. Just make it a habit to sit down and write for the first 10 minutes when you get up, even if it's journaling or just making a list of things. Just get in the habit of it, because the important thing is showing up regularly. So here's your action step for the week. Choose one simple, repeatable writing habit actually for the next week or for the next 2 weeks. Same time, same place if possible, and stick with it. Keep it small enough that you know you can succeed. Maybe it's writing for that 10 minutes every morning. Maybe it's spending 15 minutes revising before dinner every day. Or maybe it's brainstorming ideas during your lunch break. Whatever you choose, focus on consistency